Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the third video in my frame of motion series. In this video, we are going to learn about keyframes. In the previous two videos, so the last video we learned how to have exit and enter animation in our React project, and we created a basically we created an animation where there was kind of structure like moon, and we were animating it, right? And we had enter and exit animation in that. And before that video we learned how to use animate and transition to create a beautiful animation. Now in this video we are going to learn one more concept. Let's go in the documentation. You can also check this link, and in this link let's scroll down, and we have a new concept which we are going to learn in this video, which is keyframes. So what are keyframes and how you can use keyframes in the frame of motion while creating an animation. We have this simple example you can see. So what they're doing is, inside animate they are animating the x value, and they are providing an array which contains keyframe value, right? So the first is like x will be on 0, and then it will be animated and moved towards 100, and then again 0. So basically you can have n number of values inside this array, and all those values will be animated automatically using frame of motion. So that's what keyframes are. You can see it's just a series of keyframes, and your component will basically be animating through that in a sequence one by one. Like first it will be here, and then it will be here, like it will be in the sequence, right? We have one more example over here. As you can see, it's animating through a series of series of keyframes, you can say. Like first it was here, and then it's basically scaling up, rotating, like a lot of animations are happening, right? In the example as well, let me show you the code. Like as you can see, the first thing which is happening is the scale animation. So the first, it was in its original scale 1, and then it scaled 2 times, and then again in the last it's scaling down to its original position. And then we have rotate animation as well. So first it was 0, and then it rotated 180 degrees, and then again 0. And border radius is also animating through a series of, you can see, keyframes. So first two positions, so first two sequences are 0%, and then border radius is getting changed, as you can also see in this animation as well. So yeah, this is the keyframe and how you can utilize it. It was a very simple example. We have one more thing over here. You can see, like, we can also write null in the sequence, because what happens is, like in this example, let me show you this example. You can see there is code repetance, right? Like 0 is repeated 2 times, and to avoid that you can simply write this null. Like it will be used in those cases where we don't know what will be the initial state of our animation, right? So you can just directly write null, and your animation will automatically happens, and it will be very smooth as comparison to what initial value you write over here. Here also you can see a lot of code is repeated, like you are writing 0 and 0. So you can basically have your initial animation as null if you don't know the initial state of an animation. So that's where null can help you. In this example, it might be there that they are using null. As you can see, like when this is hover, this is scaling in these series of sequences. So initial state we don't know, but in the later stages it's scaling to 1.5 times and then 1.4 times. You can see it's very smooth, right? But let's say if in place of null I write maybe 1, you see it's very instant. Or maybe let's say I write 10, you see animation is not very smooth, because there might be some cases where you don't know the initial state, right? So you can just simply write null. Yeah, so it will automatically calculate the value and animate your component, right? So this is all about the keyframes. So yeah, let's do one similar example to this, so that you'll be able to understand how we can use it in React project. So yeah, in the first video, if you notice, we created a React project, and in that project we were creating animation, we were creating components where we were utilizing frame of motion. So let me open up that. Its name was frame of motion component, and I have also pushed this code in GitHub as well. Let me open a VS Code. It's not opening. Okay, wait. I'll open up the frame of motion component directory. Let me maximize it. Okay, great. Let me start this server. You can write npm run dev, and it's on localhost 5173. So yeah, in the previous video you noticed that we created this beautiful animation, right? And after 10 seconds it will basically have exit animation. So we had enter and exit animation in this. Now let's add keyframes in this example, right? So what we can do is let me open up this exit and enter animation which we created in the previous video. If you haven't watched that, do watch it. Although the code is very simple, you can also understand it in this video as well. So basically we had this div, and initially it had opacity 0 and y position as well 0, and we were animating it like opacity was becoming 1 and y position was becoming 40. And transition, yeah, it was for the 5 seconds. And in exit animation I was basically moving that inner circle. Here as well you can see like the inner circle, it was basically moving from 0 to 40 position, which we have written over here. And in the exit animation it was like going down to the 200th position, right? That's why it was becoming invisible. So yeah, let's do keyframes in this. What we can do is we can have one scale animation here, and we can have sorry, it will be inside animate. So basically inside this what we will do is we will have a sequence of scale properties. So first it will be, let's say 1, and then 1.2 and 1.5 and then 1.1 and then again 1, right? If you don't want any initial state, then you can also write null as well. So let's see how it is looking now. If you click on refresh, you see it's scaling up and then scaling down. It's looking really great. Yeah. So in this way you can have a lot of properties inside this animate block, and you can write it as a sequence, like in an array as well, right? So this was for the scale. Let's see what are the other properties inside it. Is there any color property? Right, we can also change color as well. Like first I want maybe red, then I want blue, and then I want white, right? Let's see how it is looking now. So okay, sorry, it will not be color, it will be background color. Yeah, right, let's see. So yeah, the color is not changing. Let me see why. It might be the property might be different. Yeah, let's use background color, it might work, I guess. Okay, it's not working. Let's see what could be the issue. Let's have null over here, and yeah, let's see. Also it might be possible that it's not able to understand this, so it we might have to write it in what hexadecimal format, right? So we can write hash 111111 maybe, and then hash let's say 12 ap12. Let's see how it is looking now. Okay, yeah, color is changing definitely. So that means our constant values are not working, but this one is working. Okay, so the last I want it to again change into 111. Let's see. So yeah, it will be changed into green. Although you can see that our circle is getting outside of our circle, which will happen because we are basically making it scale to 1.5 times. That's why it's becoming bigger than the outer circle, right? What you can do is maybe we can do one thing. Instead of scaling up, we can maybe scale it down, so that way you will be able to see circle only getting shrink inside this outer circle. Let's see. So yeah, color is also getting changed, and yeah, it's looking great. I mean, so yeah, this was just yeah, this was amazing, I guess. So in this way, I hope you understood how to use keyframes. You can see I used keyframes in two properties. First was scale and second was background color. So basically I'm scaling it first to 1.2 times, and then scaling it down to these values, and I'm also changing the background color. So in this way you can have a lot of properties which you want to animate. right? Like let me press control space. There are a lot of values which you can animate, like let's say size, right? You can have maybe border as well, or you can have border radius, I believe. Like let's say initially it is null, and then let's say it's 40%, 10%, 100%. Yeah, so in this way as well, I mean, you can do all these things. As you can see, it changed to circle and then again square and then circle, right? Let me refresh it again. You will notice first it was circle and then it was changed to square and then again circle. So in this way you can animate a lot of properties and have different keyframes according to your requirement, right? So yeah, this was fun, learning this and also explaining it. So yeah, I hope you understood how to create keyframes and yeah, make cool animations using these, and also do share that in comments. I'll push this code in my GitHub as well. I'll mention the link in its description, in the video description. You can check it out. So yeah, that was all for this video. In the next video, we will see some gesture action, like when let's say this component is clicked or when this component is hovered. So we have a lot of gesture animation. Let me show you. Like the next concept is gesture animations. So we have a lot of animations which act upon some kind of gesture you perform, like when you hover or when you tap on something or when you drag. So we have these 5 gestures, I guess, or maybe there are more. We'll have to see in the documentation. So we'll make or we'll utilize these gesture animation in the next video, and we'll see how we can move forward, right? So yeah, see you in the next video. Thank you guys.